If I had to start learning to code all over again in 2025, I'd do it completely differently. Back then, I bounced between tutorials, wasted months on random courses, and almost quit because it felt impossible to keep up. Now things are even noisier. We've got AI coding tools, endless boot camps, and creators promising you'll be job ready in 30 days. So if I were starting from zero today, here's exactly how I'd approach learning to code without burning out or falling into the same traps that hold most beginners back. When I first started, I made the mistake of hopping between languages. One week I was learning Python, the next I was experimenting with JavaScript, and then I got convinced to try C++ because I read some posts saying it would make me a real programmer. The result was that I knew a little bit of everything, but couldn't build anything meaningful. If I had to start over today, I'd choose one language and commit to it for at least a few months. Python is still an excellent choice if you want something beginner-friendly, while JavaScript is perfect if you're interested in web development. The key is not to obsess over which one is best. Learning to code isn't about finding the perfect language. It's about learning how to think like a programmer. Once you understand that, picking up new languages later becomes much easier. I fell into what's called tutorial hell. I watched hours of crash courses, followed along, felt like I was learning, and then immediately forgot everything when I tried to build something on my own. If I could do it again, I'd change my approach completely. After learning a concept, I'd immediately put it into practice with a small, simple project. When I learned loops, I would write a number guessing game. When I learned functions, I would make a basic calculator. When I understood arrays, I'd put together something silly like a random joke generator. These small projects build the real skills you need. They force you to debug, search for answers, and apply what you've learned in a way tutorials can't. AI coding tools are incredible, but they can be dangerous if you rely on them the wrong way. If I were starting over, I'd use AI as a mentor rather than as a replacement for thinking. Instead of letting it write entire programs for me, I'd ask it to explain concepts in simpler terms, help me understand bugs in my code, or show me better ways to structure what I've already written. The biggest mistake beginners make is pasting code from AI without understanding it. If you don't stop to ask why it works, you're not actually learning. The goal isn't to have perfect code immediately. It's to build the foundation so you can eventually write and understand it yourself. I used to believe I needed to master a language before I could build anything. That belief wasted so much time. If I could start over, I would begin building real small projects almost immediately. Your first projects will be ugly and broken, and that's exactly the point. They teach you how to connect what you've learned into something functional. I'd start by making simple tools that solve everyday problems. A basic to-do list, a personal budget tracker, or even a silly meme generator. These small wins give you confidence and help you see the bigger picture of how coding comes together. When I first started, I worked in isolation for months, and it slowed me down. If I could go back, I would share my progress publicly from the very beginning. Even if my code was messy, I'd push it to GitHub and post updates in forums or coding communities. It's not about showing off. It's about accountability and building connections with people who are on the same journey. That kind of support can keep you motivated during the inevitable plateaus. Even a single piece of feedback or encouragement can make a huge difference when you're feeling stuck. One of the biggest things I wish I'd known is that there is no perfect roadmap. I spent months obsessing over what stack to learn, whether I should go to a boot camp, or which resources were the best. None of it mattered nearly as much as simply starting. In 2025, with AI and so many resources available, overplanning is just another way to procrastinate. The sooner you write your first line of code, the sooner you can figure out what matters through experience. Learn enough to make something small, build it, and then keep building. That cycle is how real developers grow. If I had to start over in 2025, I'd keep it simple. I'd choose one language, avoid drowning in tutorials, use AI as a guide instead of a crutch, build small projects early, and share my progress so I stayed accountable. There's no magic formula and no shortcut to mastery, but if you focus on doing instead of just watching, you'll improve faster than you think. So what's the one thing holding you back from learning to code right now? Share it in the comments and let's talk about it. And if you want more no BS advice for learning to code in today's world, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.